Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad. Joining me today, Kala Breder with the Birth Trauma Awareness Organization. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we've been in communication for a while now, trying to get you on here because you do have it's an incredible story. You have a lot of history with birth trauma,
yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Which created this great organization that helps other people going through it. But which we'll get to more in just a second. But you also are, of course, you have children, and you're a writer.
Yeah.
And you're a psychic / medium.
Yes.
You are a busy gal.
Yes.
And very intriguing.
Thank you.
Let's start with, of course, why you're here, which is birth trauma awareness. And you do have a fundraiser coming up, and we'll talk about that because we want everybody to have a chance to get involved here. It's a great cause. But let's talk about the why. Why did you start this?
Yeah, so in 2020, I had a massive postpartum hemorrhage, and I had to receive 32 units of blood. They had to do a partial hysterectomy to save my life. We ran out of blood here. I had to get airlifted to another hospital, have a couple of surgeries and things done there. Was on a ventilator in the ICU, all the things. Woke up, and I could barely hold my baby, and he was only 5 pounds when he was born. But my very first experience holding him, I was like, he's too heavy, take him away from me. And that's terrible. That's not how you want your first experience to be. And so I really struggled physically afterwards and trying to figure out how do I build up my strength safely and get back to normal. I was extremely swollen. I couldn't wear clothing, just this very traumatic experience. Where when I was in the hospital, I'm like, surely I'm going to have therapies and all of these appointments I'm going to have to follow up with, and there's nothing. I had my just normal prenatal checkup and to get the C-section staples and everying. And
there was nothing to say, how are things going? Nothing.
Yeah. So, and I think I really slipped through the cracks a bit, having the baby here and then getting shipped to another hospital, and then who do you follow up with? And so I think there was a bit of me slipping through the cracks, and it set me up for 3 long years of trying to get my body back to where it needed to go. I ended up having, 8 total surgeries in that 3 years' time to get things back to normal. PTSD and help with that. And so for me, I just was like, this is something that at the time when it happened to me, didn't happen often.
Sure.
But when it did, it was kind of, everyone was like, what do we do? Where do we go? How do we handle this? And then it started happening more often. And so then I felt as though I needed to do something at least for local women, to where there is a resource that they can reach out to of, hey, I'm struggling with this. I can't afford to have, I have PTSD from my event. I can't afford to go to therapy. Here's a little bit of money to help you get started with that. Or I stuttered when I got back, so maybe you need speech therapy. So here's some funds to help with that. Memory loss, things like that. There was all kinds of little things along the way that there probably could have been some sort of therapy, but it was just kind of an unknown thing at the time.
Yeah.
So I've been working with the women who are in charge of the Blessed Beginnings unit. We've been talking back and forth a lot about things that I felt like I needed, things that I've talked to other moms who have now gone through this that they feel like they need, and just really kind of trying to make sure that no one else falls through the gaps.
Yeah. So I have so many questions, and I have the goosebumps as well, because I know, I didn't have anything like that, but having a child is, of course, life-changing in and of itself. To go through what you've gone through, and others, of course, I can't even imagine not being able to. It's hard enough to come home with a newborn, right? Yeah. I can't imagine not being able to come home, being in a hospital for that long, going through such trauma physically, but also just thinking, mothers, of course,
Yeah.
we're so hard on ourselves anyway.
yeah.
And I'm not discounting dads, because I know dads go through, some stuff too. But childbirth is traumatic on the body, even in the best of circumstances.
Yes.
It just really
Yes,
is.
it is,
So
yeah.
to go through what you went through, I mean, kudos for the strength to overcome it. I know there's probably a lot of things that you attribute that to. Also, total bummer that you fell through the cracks with lack of communication and cohesiveness through our healthcare system. That sucks. Hopefully they're working on some things to prevent that in the future. But also, I don't want to say it is a blessing in disguise that this happened
is.
to you,
It is,
because who knows who else could have fallen through the cracks and not have a resource
Yeah.
to get a hold of. So yeah, thank you for doing this.
Yes.
I of course never want anybody to go through what you went through, but if it had happened to anyone else, maybe this wasn't.
Yeah.
Maybe this wasn't going to be the outcome. So.
And I often say that, like, if I go back and change it all, I don't think I would. I think I
Really?
would go through it because, one, it changed my complete outlook on life. And I think also it's allowed me to meet some really amazing people and to help people that I don't even know that I'm helping kind
Right.
of thing. So, and I think it's just, it's making it be talked about.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, bringing it to the forefront. So, do you know what's the percentage of traumatic births now versus then? Have they increased, decreased? Do you have any information on that?
I can just attest to what I know about locally here.
Okay.
So before mine happened, there was only one other experience. And this is coming from the nurse that was there with me.
Okay,
So
okay.
she's only known of one other experience in 20 years.
Wow.
So, and then mine happened. And then this year alone, I think it was within either a 6 to 8 week period, they had 3
Wow.
massive postpartum hemorrhages. And so it is happening more often now. The why, I don't really
Don't
know.
have it.
We haven't really researched it, or that's the other part. There's not a lot of research as to this type of stuff. But I know of locally it's happening more often.
And I'm sure it's hard to pinpoint because, every body is physically different,
Yeah.
but different stressors, different, prenatal care, different, I mean, there's so many variables. It's going to be hard to pinpoint. So I do think it's important to, even if we don't understand the why is it happening, let's understand what we can do about it.
Exactly.
So again, thank you for creating this organization that helps other women, other parents, and other kids, let's be honest.
Yeah. Yep.
Because the babies are going through that trauma, but you also have two older kids that.
Yeah, they went through it too.
Right?
My oldest daughter ended up having to go to therapy for post-traumatic anxiety at the age of 4,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
and so, yeah, they went through it right there with us, and they are still going through it right there with us. And there was a piece of me this year that was like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's hard on me. It's hard on the family. We're bringing everything back up.
Yeah.
And then I spoke with that nurse, and she told me that now the hospital can get stat blood for women who are bleeding.
Really?
And they don't have to jump through all the hoops and all the stuff. And the only reason they were able to get that is because she's like, people are out there raising money. This is important. And because of that, now this is happening. So
there's
then
a
I was like,
change.
okay,
Can't give up
I
yet.
can't
You
stop.
can't
I
give up
got to
yet,
keep
sister.
going. Yeah.
Yes, good for you. That's awesome. I mean, I imagine it is a lot of work. I mean, so the whole reason for talking about this today, of course, alone, I know, of course, we want to bring awareness, but you have a fundraiser coming up.
Yes.
Which that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not only a lot of work to go through it, to relive it, but also just task-wise. There's just a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about the Birth Trauma Awareness Dinner.
Yeah, so it's going to be on September 28th. It's at Mavericks Landing Zone.
Okay.
Which is newer, but it's the old Long Gondola building,
Yes,
is what I
yes.
tell people.
Yep.
They've redid it, and it looks really awesome. Boki's Kitchen is catering it. And we're gonna have raffles, and I try to get some women who have had traumatic births to come up and share their stories. We have some people from the hospital come up and share their stories of how things are evolving and changing because of kind of what we're doing and things like that. And yeah, so then we just kind of do it that way and have the raffles and just try to have a good time and raise money and talk about something that I also think is kind of taboo. People don't like to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm the one that, like, if you see me out and about, like, please ask me.
Sure.
I would love to answer any questions that you have about it. I'll talk about it all
Right.
the time,
Yeah.
but I think other people are kind of leery to talk about it because of my trauma wasn't as bad as yours, but it's all trauma.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Your
It's a
trauma is
contest
yours.
you don't want to win.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think sometimes the community and just being able to talk to other people who have even semi-like experiences,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
just helps kind of air out some of that crap that's been stuck inside it, right?
Exactly.
You know, so you're like, it helps to talk, helps to know that there's a community there for support. So I think if nothing else, which this sounds like it's going to be a great time, great food, a lot of great people coming together to share their stories, but then also raffles. I mean, who doesn't want to?
Yes.
Who doesn't love a raffle?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then of course it's for a great cause. So and I just noticed. So okay, why don't you give us a rundown of the tickets?
Okay,
'Cause,
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
noticed something cool. I was like, oh, that's kind of fun.
So
Okay.
tickets are $55 a person. If you get a table for 8, you get 400, and you get a bottle of wine for
Yeah.
that table as well.
Heck
So,
yeah. So get your table of 8 people. I'm sure we all need, especially, the adults with kids, we all need a night out.
Yeah.
So I think this
Definitely.
provides a perfect example of what we can do to not only make a difference, but have fun, enjoy a night out. Be a part of a community that you may or may not understand fully, but go help out, right?
Yeah.
And I think, again, every birth has its own it puts you through changes, whether physically, mental.
Yes,
I mean, it doesn't matter if it goes smooth sailing. It is
Yeah.
a total change of life and the trajectory it's taking. And I think even that in and of itself can create some kind of PTSD, especially if you're
definitely.
if you're not prepared. I mean, when we had Claire, I was like, what in the world? And I tried breastfeeding. I mean, I was like,
Yes.
I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have people that you can talk to. I love it. And then you also wrote a book on this.
I did. Yes.
So, and it's called
Fight Like a Mother.
Love that name. Fight Like a Mother,
Yes.
of course. So it just kind of outlines your experience.
Yeah,
and-
it goes through my whole story with the birth, with the aftermath of those about roughly 3 years of all the surgeries and all the recovery and recuperating I had to do, and then just how it's changed my life. And I look at it as a good change. You know, it was such a traumatic experience, but who I am now is so much better than who I was then. Not like I was a bad person or anything, but I have this appreciation for life and for people around me, and I just have this pull to make a change and make the world better, especially when I think of my sisters and my daughters potentially having kids someday. Like I don't want anyone to have to go through what I went through.
Absolutely.
To that extent.
I love it. Giving back. Of course, again, it's a contest nobody wants to win. It's an experience that we wish would never happen, but since it does, I'm glad that there are people like you out there, especially locally, who are willing to raise awareness and not only that, but give back. So the dinner is September 28th, so you have a little bit of time to plan. So make sure you reach out to get your tickets, get your table. Why wouldn't you get a table, right? Again, night out with your friends and a bottle of wine. Heck yeah. Raffles, dinner, drinks, fun, giving back to a great organization. And real quick, so this isn't, you don't have your own 501c3 yet or anything. I say yet because who knows where this is going to go, right?
Yeah.
So you give back in the form of donating back to the Blessing Foundation,
Correct, yes.
who then helps pass along those funds to people who need it, which I
Yes.
think is awesome. 'Cause they, of course, are the conduit and they know what they're doing. So helping those people, and then, of course, you organize all this. So little angel on earth here. Okay, so real quick, where do the people go to learn more about the organization or the fundraiser or your experience?
Yeah. So you can go to the Birth Trauma Awareness Facebook page, and there's the event on there that goes through all the detail of that. And there is also the link on there too for getting tickets. And finding out
we'll
more
link that as well too. And then, so if somebody wants to learn more about your book or take a read, where do they find that?
So my book is on Amazon, but it's also in Enchanted Books downtown now.
Excellent.
So it's in the bookstore here.
Yeah, so shop local, read local. How cool is that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And then, okay, so I touched on something that's also very intriguing to me. Not only do you have, this great cause that is probably your why these days, but you're also a psychic medium. Is that terminology right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So when did you learn you had this skill?
This is what I call my gift from going through this.
Oh, really?
It's kind of always been there my whole life, but definitely shut down and afraid. And after this experience, I had experiences as soon as I woke up in the ICU.
Really?
As soon as I woke up. So this definitely opened the door for that.
Okay.
And so when a lot of people, if you read up on near-death experiences, which there's a little bit of touch of that in my book as well, a lot of people who have that end up getting some sort of gift after the fact. And mine was this, I call it connection to the other side, like a open phone line, basically, if you will.
Weird.
Yeah. So
I mean, not weird. Intriguing. I don't want to say no. It's not. That was a poor choice of words. But
weird is kind of explaining too.
Unusual.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not every day that you meet a medium. So,
yes. Yeah.
But I do think that if you're ever going to attain one of these skills, that would be when it would happen, right?
Yeah.
So. Did you have any experiences, and if this is getting too deep, if you don't want to explain any of this, but when you were going through it that you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. So in my book, there's a pretty detailed version of what I would call what I saw as heaven.
Yeah.
So
don't give away the secret.
Yes.
You want people to buy the book.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just in a kind of a nutshell, you basically visited the afterlife.
Yep. And I have experiences where I'm outside my body, but still kind of in the operating room, out seeing my family, things like that. So there's experiences like that. And then, like I said, as soon as I woke up, I felt someone hold my hand at one point when I was in the ICU, and hearing different sounds and stuff like that. Yeah, so
wild.
Instant, yeah.
Wild. And you mentioned memory loss, and I'm sure, so just a whole slew of things you didn't really want. How do you feel about your gift?
I love my gift.
Yeah.
I was talking with somebody, and they said, when you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Sure.
And that's exactly how I feel. I just love what I do and helping others.
So now you do have a business, right? Where where you utilize your gift.
Yep.
And what is that called?
Kala Breder, Psychic Medium.
Okay,
Super
cool.
easy.
And they can find that on Facebook as
well.
well.
Yeah.
Now, do you do like parties and whatnot? I don't know if they're called parties.
Yeah,
but
kind of. Yeah,
okay,
like
gatherings.
Yep. And
okay.
I do a small group reading at my office once a month too. So
Cool.
And private readings and.
Well, girl, I could sit here and talk to you all day long, but I don't want the most important thing to get lost in translation here. Second annual Birth Trauma Awareness Dinner, September 28th, 2024, 5 to 9 at Mavericks. Reach out to Kayla. Visit the Facebook page at Birth Trauma Awareness for more information. Get your tickets. Go learn. Go donate some time and some money to help bring even more awareness to birth trauma. It sounds like it's not going away.
Nope.
And we need to make sure, especially for new mothers, but also mothers who have children at home, that they're not alone when they go through this, because, we all need people. And in that moment, those moments are the time where we really need the community and the village, right?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what we need in those times. And just keeping people together so they don't feel like they're alone going through it.
Kayla, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Good luck with your dinner, and thank you for coming on and sharing your story. Real quick before we go, sponsors, because we don't want to leave them out.
Yes. Big thank you to Rolling Operations for being the second time sponsor. They are always a big sponsor of this event. We also had Cole Wholesale and Titan Wheel this year as sponsors too, and Titan donated last year as well too. So big thank you to them.
Great sponsors. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for your help. Go get your tickets. Go show your support for birth trauma awareness. We'll link the link to get your tickets. But Kayla, thank you again so much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
All right. I think that does it for today's Daily Muddy. We'll catch you back tomorrow for Coffee Talk. See you then.
Kelly's has been a fun place to eat and drink in Quincy since 1982. A fun and friendly atmosphere, food with flavor, homemade cinnamon rolls, and famous cheese soup, the best menu in town. Kelly's, 2902 Broadway, Quincy.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan-favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
The Tower, a great place to meet and eat. But did you know the Tower has one of the finest drink selections in our area? Along with its incredible Mexican menu, the Tower specializes in tequilas for every taste. Names like Patron, Cabo Wabo, and Hornitos. And don't forget the margaritas. On Mondays and Tuesdays, stop by and pick up a single topping pizza and get Tower margaritas to go. Enjoy the Tower at home or in our dining room, bar area, or the Tower's signature climate-controlled porch. The Tower Pizza and Mexican in Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the bullpen.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center. Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.